I believe that most people are changing. The adage goes, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but I think the last 3 years has altered the courses of all our lives. Too much has been lost, too many lines have been crossed. The ideas and beliefs held are changing, our populace awakening. The personal responsibility for a moment slipped in our nation, our comfort driving us to rely on agents of the state to provide for our protection. That is, until they stopped showing up during crisis. When we woke up to the reality that when rubber meets road, only we can stand and defend ourselves. It is an inspiring yet terrifying realization to come to. Nobody will be there to save you. Gentlemen and ladies who identify as such, welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to be pouring our passion yet again into a video that I think is relevant to all of you, and I'm hoping that you learn something from this video. Look, the world around us makes us full of fear. It's easy to get sucked into that fear zone, or we can be intentional and take action in our own lives. And I propose that we do the latter. Let's get into it. You're here, which means you're passionate about being prepared. You know how important it is to take steps to become ironclad. Maybe you're still unsure of what tools you need and who you can rely on. I want to introduce you all to our sister company, Arcane Co. Arcane exists to equip you with modern warfighting tools and equipment to be able to effectively defend your life. We believe that the right to own military arms and supplemental gear are human rights, and they're the only means to defend liberty from tyranny. Right this moment, as you are watching this video, our Black Friday promotion is live, both on the TA Targets and Arcane site. Two brands that are committed to your freedom and liberty and a cultural revival. Two brands that you can be confident in supporting. So I ask you this, check out Arcane's site and also the TA Targets site. Consider monetarily supporting us in this season. By doing so, you are building a foundation of radically free people and a new community. You are becoming a part of this cultural revival, and you get to save money while doing so. So whether you need armor, bags, weapon lights, night vision, thermal, steel target systems, or training gear, consider us first. Your support is how we continue doing what we do here on this channel. Thank you all for the years of support. I watch my children grow. I'm a father and a husband. My duty and calling is to provide protection and providence for my family. Yet the world around me seems to be descending into total chaos. How can I equip myself to provide them with protection? What wouldn't I be willing to do to keep them safe? I think most of you can relate to my thoughts. There isn't a mountain you wouldn't climb to be able to provide protection for your family. Heck, many of you would be willing to step in front of bullets to defend people you don't even know. As men, we are called to be a foundation in our community. We are called to be defenders of those who cannot defend themselves. Even though our culture minimizes the value of men in this role, who do they call in times of crisis? Strong men, often with rifles to save the day. But our culture is awakening to a very simple fact. When you need them most, these strong men will not arrive in time. Don't believe me? Ask the residents of the cities that burned in the last 3 years during riots and chaos. While police fought off crowds of thousands, guess who was ignored? Nobody will be there to save you. It is up to you to be prepared. The riots and collapse and general tyranny of 2020 to this day also did another thing. It woke people up to just how important rifles, like my 5-inch here, are to the citizen populace. When faced by dozens of attackers, it might just take a rifle to save your life. The idea of owning a compact rifle that you can carry daily does not seem strange anymore, and it's becoming more accepted. I'm going to pose an argument to you all today. My stance is simple. You should carry a rifle every single day. Immediately, thoughts are racing through your head. Some of you agree, some of you are like me, and you are already doing that. Heck, some of you are blatantly disregarding unconstitutional laws in your state that say you cannot do so. I applaud those of you behind enemy lines doing such. Some of you think that your pistol is just fine, and maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Some of you cannot even grasp the idea of integrating a rifle into your daily carry, but I think it's critical, and I'll lay out my arguments. When the next government-created SSRI-induced mass shooter goes on a rampage, what will likely be present? Most likely a rifle, most likely body armor, most likely a pile of magazines. We need to be prepared for this. We need to be equipped to destroy anyone who is willing to murder innocent citizens. We need tools to be able to effectively engage over 100 yards if needed. In prior times, it was an accepted argument stating that your rifle wouldn't be with you when you needed it most. Not so anymore. A law folding adapter and a 5 or 7.5 inch 300 blackout and you're in business. The barrier for entry for carrying a rifle is low, and carrying a rifle can easily be accommodated and integrated into your daily routine. Take my 5-inch right here. I carry this in a small sling bag that is very inconspicuous. Inside the bag are spare mags, medical, and body armor. A simple loadout meant for one thing: defense of innocent life. Those of you who disagree with my stance on rifle carry are probably doing so for 3 reasons, maybe 4. You claim that to carry a rifle is to be paranoid. You claim that doing so is illegal and not worth the risk. You claim that doing so is overkill and unnecessary. And some of you claim that deploying a rifle immediately makes you a target and a bad guy. Let's address all of those points. First of all, love of life is not paranoid. Being willing to defend life is our duty. My actions are never out of paranoia. They're simply stacking the deck in my favor. Your claim that it is illegal might be true, so you have a decision to make, and it's one that only you can make. How long will we allow man's laws to kill us? If your family is in a mall and a shooter starts slaughtering innocent people, would you wish that someone had the balls to conceal carry a rifle illegally and be capable of defending your family? Is there a line you would not personally cross to take care of your family? I can't answer that for you. I can only pose the question. Some of you claim that carrying a rifle is overkill. When it comes to defending innocent life, I don't believe in overkill. But when you look at it from a legal standpoint, I plan to respond with an equal or reasonably higher amount of force to make an attacker stop. My rifle levels the deck. You claim that deploying a rifle makes you immediately a target, and as a result, you'll be shot by police as the bad guy. You think drawing your pistol doesn't pose the same risk? How about we expand this exercise further? Let's normalize concealed rifle carry. Let's make the idea less taboo. Let's learn to be capable of responding to events. For too long, we have allowed tyrants and politicians to scare us from exercising our human rights. We follow laws to the line when they end up killing us. What a noble citizen you were. You died disarmed with honor because you followed man's law that said your guns are illegal. You see how silly this is? Owning, possessing, and carrying all arms is a human right. I believe in stacking the deck in my favor and having more than just a pistol on deck. I believe in being prepared, and I believe that it is my duty to train with these loadouts and to learn them, to refine my craft to be competent and capable of defending life. One of the biggest disconnects I see with people is regarding comfort and concealment of a rifle every day. It's pretty universal that people think that incorporating a rifle in a bag in your everyday carry will simply add complexity to your life. The reality is you just have to set out with a plan. So let's break down those misconceptions. I want to discuss this topic from a few specific angles to address them. First, I want to discuss the actual bags that I choose to carry with me every single day. Then I would like to touch on how I lay out those bags for success. And lastly, I want to discuss the kinds of rifles that I'm willing to carry with me daily inside of those bags. And listen, you're not going to nail this the first time. It's okay to start out and find out that your layout sucks and it's not going to work. But do that on the range. Do it when the stakes are low. I've found over the years that my bags are constantly evolving with my needs and the systems within them are constantly changing. Let's talk about the bags that I choose to carry with. And first, specifically, I want to talk about Vertex because we stock and sell those bags on our site. And the reason I chose Vertex is because they've held up the best over the years since the days of the early 2000s when I was buying them myself. I was buying these bags personally without the intent of selling for many years. And as we launched Arcane, they were a natural fit to our brand. So just know this, if you buy Vertex bags from my company, obviously I benefit from that. Some of my favorite traits of Vertex bags are the quality of the materials and the interior layouts. When you're selecting a bag, you should be looking for something that is extremely discreet, yet purposefully designed to carry firearms and gear. The bag that you got for free from Cabela's during some promotion probably isn't gonna cut it. You need a high quality bag with high quality fabrics, good zippers, and ample loop inside for accessories. You're carrying a rifle with you. It's critically important that your bag is up to the task, and not every bag will be. So when I'm choosing a size of bag, I'm gonna first look at the environment that I will be in. What will look normal? What is going to stand out? In almost all occasions, smaller bags are gonna be more discreet. I know my video is somewhat ruining the OPSEC because we are mainstreaming rifle carry, but it's a worthy cause, but I digress about that. Pick a bag that fits the environment or terrain that you will be heading into. My transit sling is almost always my go-to for this reason. From church carry to movie theaters, malls, dinner reservations, this bag fits that role extremely well. The largest bag that you're gonna see me carrying is my Gamut. I love the Gamut for times when I want my 10-3, but I'll be honest, it's a bit big. If I need a bigger bag than the Transit, or I simply want the comfort of dual straps, I will go for the Ready Pack. All three bags blend in. They have modern, fashionable colors, and they're not covered in external MOLLE webbing or any weird patches or things that say, "I've got a gun." I hate external MOLLE webbing as it screams tactical. All the bags I mentioned have main or secondary compartments that fit a rifle well, and that's critical. I look for main compartments that will offer a space specifically for my rifle. On the Gamut, my 10.3 lives in the main pouch. On the Ready Pack, my Galil or my 7.5-inch 300 Blackout lives in the main pouch as well. For my Transit sling, I pack my 5-inch in my bag's outermost main compartment. You want to place it in a way that the grip of the gun is easily and quickly accessed. I carry my rifles barrel down, often with an empty chamber. We could debate empty versus loaded, but I do not view my rifle as an immediate threat response. My sidearm is still my first defense. My rifle is a luxury in the event that distance or time are on my side. I have a similar mindset with my night vision and my helmet, although I will admit that I put less energy into integrating my nods into my everyday carry, but I do have a discreet way to transport my helmet, binos, and helmet mount. Having a bag like the Navigator from Vertex makes that possible as well. And again, incorporating our bullet baggies and our mag carriers make organization simple and consistent inside of your bag. Layout of the bag is equally important. There are specifically two things that I hate: clutter and unnecessary junk and loose components inside of my bags. Both things will increase the time it takes to deploy your rifle. They also increase the risk of snags. I never want to put other junk in the compartment with my rifle. A bag isn't quite like a holster. The trigger is not protected, and for this reason, I carry empty chambered. If the safety flips and somehow the hammer drops, I'm not sending a round into the ground. Some argue that the floating firing pin is a risk on an AR-15 style platform. I've never had an AR-15 platform go off unintentionally, so that's not my primary concern. My primary concern is just saying, if there's something loose in the bag and the safety flips, I don't want it to be even remotely possible for that thing to get in the trigger and activate the trigger dropping the hammer, because that would send a round out of my rifle, through my bag, possibly into someone else or another area that I can't control and I don't want to shoot. So you might be wondering, how do I combat the clutter? And really it's simple. We created several sewn goods that I use daily inside of my bags. We manufacture, stock, sell, and ship these over at Arcane. First are my magazines. For years, I kept loose mags in my bag, and frankly, shame on me. They were never in a consistent location. They were always oriented really weird and strange, so I created these solutions so that I could solve that problem. I always have mags secured in the loop sections of my bags consistently, and reloads are going to be always available in the most efficient way possible inside of a bag. On the topic of reloads are not always going to be the fastest with a bag, but they do become faster with good gear placement and a good mindset and practice. As you can see from my 5-inch 300 Blackout and Transit Sling, I can actually draw, fire, and reload the rifle extremely quickly, all things considered. How I place my gear, bags, medical, and mags is gonna vary slightly from bag to bag. The one thing I always stress, I run my gear on the range. I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to hit the range, run drills, and test your layouts. Do this from weird positions. Do it from your vehicle. Deploy your bag on your back. Figure out what it's like to sprint with it to a target. This is how you're gonna figure out where your loadout fails. This is how you expand your knowledge. When it comes to the actual rifles that I'm willing to carry, that is also going to be very situational dependent. When it comes to short barrels, I often prefer a 300 Blackout. My 5-inch 300 Blackout is launching my 125 grain Spear TNT rounds at over 1,600 feet per second. A 5.56 is another option I carry often. Ultimately, no short rifle will perform like a longer rifle when it comes to velocity, but compared to a handgun, they do pack a crazy punch. I personally do not carry pistol caliber carbines. I just feel like they don't afford me enough benefit over my Glock 19 to justify carrying them. I personally prefer a rifle caliber. I want lots and lots of bullets, and I want as much energy downrange as possible. My final component to my loadouts is training the fundamentals consistently. I don't make pretend drills on the range where I envision myself in a mall or a store. I simply focus on the foundation, drawing, engaging, reloading, and then returning the gun back to the bag efficiently. I don't overthink this kind of stuff. What I'm most concerned with is a consistent deployment of each rifle. Can I get the gun out and on target quickly and effectively? On a mental preparedness side, I do practice what I will do in the event that one of my rifles is deployed for self-defense. I do practice the information that I'm planning on providing dispatch. I do practice quickly returning my rifle back to my bag. And frankly, I don't plan on walking around with my rifle outside of the bag long after the fact. All points that I can go over and discuss in another video. My biggest takeaway that I want to send you away with is encouragement. I hope that discussing this topic, showing drills and loadouts for everyday carry of rifles has at least gotten your gears turning. If I've gotten you that far, I've done my job. I can't ultimately make decisions for you. I can't tell you what's right or wrong or what laws to follow or disobey, but I'm happy to share my experiences, and maybe, just maybe, you are gonna find them helpful for your particular situation. I want to encourage you all to join our movement. Our collective of brands are known as the Exodus Companies. We are committed to a cultural revival and a creation of a new, stronger community of people. This mission cannot happen without you. All I ask is that you check out our brands, our YouTube channels, and our podcast. If there's something that you like that resonates with you, pay it forward by sharing it. And look, you might be scared to share the message, but I challenge you to do it anyway. Be brave and spread the message. It requires us all to do our part. We cannot afford to just have us standing here and pass the buck and make excuses for why we won't do it. Own your life, own your rights, and live by example. We encourage people to pursue personal excellence and live lives worthy of following. By doing so, we can bring a new era of strength and prosperity to this amazing nation. Oh, and don't forget about all of those Black Friday deals that I discussed earlier. Details can be found in the description below. Lastly, we just launched our Patreon account, so if you want to support us that way, consider becoming a Patreon. You'll be getting inside information, behind the scenes content, and early access to certain content, drills, and resources. Thank you all.